Yo peeps, how you doing? Erik Galaxy here. So I guess congratulations are in order for the Florida Panthers for winning the Stanley Cup. Oh yeah, and the Boston Celtics. Blah, 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 blah. I always hate it when a team that was founded after my beloved San Jose Sharks wins the Stanley Cup. It's like, F you. Why? The Lightning, Avalanche, Stars, Panthers, I think, what was it? Were the Hurricanes? Maybe. Anyways, whatever. Anytime a team that was founded after my team wins the Stanley Cup, I'm not too happy about it. But, okay, fine, great. Florida Panthers, congratulations. Hockey Town, USA is now in Florida, supposedly. I guess they're really pushing that, even though there's like palm trees and the beach and everything, you know, it's like, I mean, isn't Hockey Town like supposed to have like ice and snow or whatever? I mean, I'm pretty sure Detroit calls itself Hockey Town, USA, for whatever reasons, but I, you know, I mean, sure, whatever. The other thing that kind of caught my eye was why is the panther on the jersey of the Florida Panthers brown? The reason I asked this question is because technically Panthers are what we call panthers are black. Little zoology here for y'all. There is a genus of large cat called Panthera, tomato, and it consists of lions and tigers, not bears, oh my, snow leopards, leopards, and jaguars. Jaguars are pretty much North America, Central America, South America. Leopards are Asia and Africa. And those are the only two of those cats that actually have what's called a melanistic quality, where their fur can get darker. And then for some reason we call these somebody along the line called, much like we call buffalo in, we call bison in the United States buffalo, even they are bison, whatever. We call panthers, they're usually, well, they always are black. Am I getting ahead of myself here? But anyways, so I'm trying to figure out why the cat on, because technically if it's a brown on there, then it's a jaguar. It's not a panther, because a panther, as what we call, and I know I'm getting redundant on this, is that they are black. That's why when someone says it's a black panther, well, all panthers are black. Just saying. The other interesting thing about this, the finals, was that a member of the losing team won the Conn Smythe Trophy, which is given out to the best player throughout the playoffs. Not just the Stanley Cup Finals, but the entire first round, second round, finals, Stanley Cup final type of thing. And it usually goes to the best player on the team that wins it all. But man, there's been 6 times where it has not done that, and this is only the 2nd time where it was not a goalie. So that was an awkward moment for the commissioner to hand out the trophy to somebody from the losing team, and of course he didn't come out to accept the trophy because I mean, you know, you just lost on the home ice and the fans are booing, and it's a big trophy. This thing's like, looks like Superman's fortress, Solitude. It's like got all kinds of angles and everything going on in it. Where the hell are you gonna put that? That's not a trophy that you can put on your mantle. You know, like my trophy that I got, you know, freshman soccer where we won, you know, first place, and it's like about this big and that tall, and you know, put it on my mantle. Yeah, it's big, but yeah, that was kind of an awkward moment where he was not going to come out and get the trophy. Understandably so. Understandably so. But here's the weird thing about that all, too. The voting for the Conn Smythe Trophy, you have to submit your vote 10 minutes before the end of the game? That's a lot of time. That's a lot of freaking time. A lot of... What if you submit your vote for a player that's... Because at the time, the Panthers were ahead 2-1. So you go, well, I'm going to submit my vote for a player on the Panthers because they are winning the game. What happens if the Oilers come back and score 2 goals, 3 goals, whatever, and win the game? It's like, well, that would be awkward. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to give it to this guy. Sorry, here's your Conn Smythe Trophy on your home ice, and you guys lost. That's just really weird. That's really weird. I would think that the governing body of the NHL or whoever does that whole trophy thing would say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be presenting the trophy at that time. You know, especially before the other team can get the Stanley Cup and go around the ice with it and everything, because that would be really awkward. So maybe we might want to rethink that whole thing. But yeah, so congratulations, Florida Panthers. F you. See you next year. All right, so the Copa America is going on right now. It's a tournament, consists of all of the South American teams with a sprinkling of other teams randomly, and I'm not really sure how they pick them to play along with that. And the USA team is screwed. Yeah. Watched that Panama game last night. First off, you can't hit somebody in the back of the head and not expect to get a red card. I mean, that's just, I mean, that might have been okay back in, like, I don't know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s when there wasn't any, you know, replay or VAR or whatever. But yeah, nowadays you can't do that. I mean, you know, I know people always talk about how a team will take on the demeanor of the coach. And if that's the case, then probably maybe that coach needs to go, because if there's no discipline on your players playing the game, especially something big like that, then I don't know, have you lost the team? Also, anybody who thinks that the USA men's national team is going to win a World Cup, that's never gonna happen. The United States does not have its best athletes on the soccer team. The United States' best athletes play football or basketball or baseball, hockey. They don't play soccer. That's not to say that there aren't good athletes on the soccer team. It's just that, I mean, if you're going to want to make money being a professional athlete, you're better off playing golf than you are playing U.S. soccer. Now, sure, some of those guys, they go across seas, they play in the Premier League, they play in the Serie A, they play in La Liga, whatever. I get it, sure, once in a while. But that's like what, 4 or 5 guys that are actually good enough to do that. Most of those, the best athletes are not going to be playing soccer. Not like other countries where the best athletes in those countries play soccer. Unless, of course, you're French. I'll get to that later. Yeah, that's... when I saw that second string goalkeeper go out there, and the look in his face, the look in his eyes was like, he looked like that second string quarterback from that show called Blue Mountain State, where he's like, I just came here to party and hang out with the chicks and drugs and the booze and everything. I don't want to be on. And all of a sudden he has to go out on the field one time because the star quarterback gets hurt. He's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. That's what he looked like. And then when he like the ball came across and he kind of like he could have picked it up and kicked it, but he didn't. He let the defender get it, and of course the defender kicked it into one of the opposing players, and then that goal comes and dude, the ball is coming right at you. That's your job. Your freaking job is when the ball's coming right at you to stop it, and the ball goes right through his hands into the net. It's like, that's the best, the second best goalie we have in the United States. We are never, ever, ever, I won't go through it again, gonna win a World Cup. I mean, sometimes we're lucky enough to win the, what's that thing called, the Gold Cup, where it's like us, Mexico, and Honduras, and Jamaica, and blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, whatever. Every once in a while we win that. But, yeah, Copa America, World Cup, never gonna happen. So, but hey, you know what? Sometimes you get some good runs. Gets everybody all juices flowing, but, yeah, U.S. soccer. Go women. Go women team. Don't even get me started on that. Oh, one other thing. Why is there a midfield line? Why is there this line on the midfield? Because it really has nothing to do with anything other than, I guess, keeping the players on a certain particular side when the ball is a goal scorer or ball, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, you can easily just do that virtual thing like they do in football. But anyways, I just trying to figure out why is there a line on the field, because it really has nothing to do with anything, because usually the players are around that big circle anyways. The big circle, right? So, just curious. I mean, I get it. It's probably going back to like centuries or whatever, but I think we can pretty much eliminate that midfield line. Anyways, go USA. Go USA. Alright, so what do we have now? Baseball? I mean, until the Olympics start? I mean, it's kind of a sad state of affairs when baseball is a filler until the Olympics start. Because I remember when baseball was king. When there was no NHL, NFL, NBA, I mean, those were all fledgling organizations at best. And baseball was king. But now it's just like, okay, let's watch some baseball until the Olympics start, and then we'll all gravitate towards that. One of the interesting things that happened last week in baseball was there was a 1-3-5 triple play. That means that the pitcher got an out, the first baseman got an out, and the third baseman got an out. That's really hard to do. So hard to do that it was the first time since 1929, when baseball was king, that it happened. And there has to be some really poor base running for this to happen, because the pitcher catches the ball on an out, throws to first base, and picks the runner on first base off, which is okay, sure. Maybe the guy was in, maybe there was a hit and run on or something like that, and so he was leading off too far. But then the first baseman has to throw all the way across the third base to get that guy off. So what the heck was that guy doing? Did he not see that the pitcher caught the ball and the pitcher turned it through to first base? And this whole time, what the hell is he doing? And then he starts running towards the home plate and he gets tagged out. So that was just crazy. But hey, in the record books. There is this thing, now I'm just throwing this out there because it's just kind of weird. I saw this a couple weeks ago, called cosmic baseball, where everything is, the ball is glow in the dark, the bats are glow in the dark, the uniforms are glow in the dark, and they play in the dark. And so there's people, as always, anytime something becomes new and people are, oh wow, that's kind of cool. Oh, I don't watch baseball usually, but I'll watch that because it's glow in the dark. Yeah. I really don't see Major League Baseball, maybe a minor league team might do it one night for the heck of it. Somebody like the Savannah Bananas, who do weird shit all the time anyways, but yeah, not gonna happen. Hey. Alright, so speaking of best athletes in the world, the NBA draft was held this week, and 3 of the top 10 draft picks were from France. We're French. I know that one of the guys actually played in the Australian League or whatever. But anyways, the top 3 of the top 10 draft picks were French, which goes to show you that the U.S. is no longer producing the best basketball players in the world. There's a lot of reason, there's a lot of speculation why that's happening. Some say that the developmental, the AAU developmental high school thing in the U.S. is vastly different from the international players who are basically kids are 15, 16 years old and turning pro. And playing in all these leagues across Europe or whatever. So now you got professional basketball players and you got United States AAU high school players. And why is that? Because they're coached differently, or because, hey, you go play professional basketball in Europe at the age of 15 or 16, you are playing against grown men who are in their 20s and possibly 30s. So you're getting a whole hell of a lot more experience playing big boy basketball. So foreign players are becoming the thing now. They're becoming a thing. They've been kind of creeping up there the last few years, but now this past draft just goes to show you that if you're a high school player in the U.S., drop out of school and go play overseas someplace. Go play in Australia, go play in Europe, go someplace else and play professional basketball. You don't got to go to college. Just saying, if that's what you want to do. It was interesting listening to the French players as they were being interviewed after they were drafted, because you had the one guy who had total thick accent, total thick like French, French accent, whatever. Then you had the other guys that were like, sounded like he was born in like New York or I don't know, California or whatever. It's like no accent whatsoever. So that was kind of weird because it's like. So depending on where they played or how much they picked up the English language, you have one guy could barely speak English, French, and the other guy speaking like, yeah, been here my whole life. So that was kind of that was interesting. the other takeaway from the draft was a whole lot of young guys. Whole lot of 17, 18, 19-year-old guys that went and played in a G League and or played, like I said, overseas or whatever. I know there are coaches that lament the fact that American-born players go through the high school, then they maybe play a year of college, and then they get drafted, whereas and they don't stay around to get to develop into professional. They don't stick around to develop their skills enough. Then they jump to the NBA, whereas the foreign-born players, like I said, are already pros at 15 and 16 years old. So, but that was a kind of interesting to see how young these guys are coming out now. Because you don't have to go to college anymore to be a professional basketball player. You can like go overseas. You can, like I said, drop out and go play over in France or Lithuania or whatever type of thing, and get your chops there. So as usual, every year the fashion thing is like, okay, what are they, and particularly this draft, because I mean, most of these kids got NIL money, so they're already millionaires, or at least thousandaire, 100,000aires, or whatever. So they're wearing the big old huge like necklaces with a big old whatever their initials on it, or their nickname or whatever, with diamonds and studs, and they're wearing. And this year's trend seemed to be how much sparkles can I put on my jacket, my suit? Where can I put the sparkles? It's like, hey, yeah, Joe, you must have got a bedazzler for Christmas, because it's like all over the place, studs, rhinestones. Maybe they're diamonds, I don't know. But yeah, seemed to be this year's fashion statement was big bling and sparkly suits. And lastly, LeBron James' son, was drafted by the Lakers. Duh. Did you think that wasn't going to happen? Come on. I know there was all this talk about how, oh, well, LeBron James wants to play with his son. And then it was like, well, LeBron James just wants to have what's best for his son, and he doesn't really care. And oh, Bronny James is going to go work out with the Phoenix Suns, and his agent, blah blah, and they want what's best for him, blah 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 blah. Bronny James was always going to go to the Lakers, always. Posturing aside, everything. LeBron James, he pretty much runs the NBA. I mean, kind of really. I mean, can you imagine another team picking his son? That's like DEFCON 5. That's like, dude, you might as well just like a death sentence. You might as well just like forget about your franchise ever being in the playoffs, or winning a championship for the next 10 years, because he will destroy you. He'll do something that would destroy you. So, yeah. Bronny James was always going to go to the Lakers. That's anybody that doesn't think so, you don't know the way of the world. But, so there you have it. NBA draft. There were some names that fell out of the first round into the second round, blah 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 blah. There's some names that people were saying weren't going to get drafted in the second round. They got drafted in the first round, blah blah blah. As usual. And we'll see how it all pans out in the future, right? And I'm pretty sure that everybody will remind us down the line if somebody who's drafted 15th or 17th becomes a superstar. They'll let us know. But it's always interesting just to watch it and just to like see the faces, especially that one guy. What was that one guy? They call him Clean Con from UConn. Apparently, they thought he was going to go like 4th or whatever, 3rd or whatever, and he dropped all the way down to 16th or whatever. And you can see his face sitting there. It was a total Aaron Rodgers situation all over again. It's like his face, and he's like a grumpy. Yeah, it's like he's like sitting there like wondering, why am I dropping this far down? But you know, maybe he'll redeem himself and he'll show everybody else up that hey, you should have picked me. But NBA draft, once again, must see TV. What the F is up with the burger pizza? I mean, it's like nowadays. He's just like, okay, let's put this pizza dough thing and just throw whatever we can on there, and it's now it's a pizza. I mean, I am a pizza purist. Now, I know that if you go to Italy, the pizza there is not the same as it is here, from what I understand. So, let's just call it American. I'm an American pizza purist. When they started putting chicken on there, what? Chicken? Don't even get me started on pineapple. Don't even get me started on pineapple. But then you start putting chicken on there, and then all of a sudden there was barbecue chicken, then there's buffalo chicken pieces. Like, what the? Come on, man. Come on. Just because you're putting stuff on a pizza dough does not make it a pizza. And now they got this thing called a cheeseburger pizza. And it's like, what? And there's what, pickles on it? It's like, oh my God. How the hell is this? This ain't pizza. It's, I don't know. But it's not pizza. So, saw this ad for Nike has this thing called the Aura, A-U-R-A, Aura, which is basically a glorified fanny pack. Now, I know that there are people out there still that wear fanny packs, even though a lot of people are like ridicule them, whatever, and they've kind of morphed into, I guess, something else. But now, apparently, Nike is bringing back this thing called the Aura, and it's basically a fanny pack. Now, if you wear it front, is it still a fanny pack? I don't know, but it's not a satchel, and it's not a purse, and it's not a what do they call those things? Man bags, whatever. It's a fanny pack. So, but I mean, has a Nike label on it, so I guess fanny packs are coming back. So yeah, so we can all get our old fanny packs, the ones that where the faux leather is chipping away and everything, and the zipper's stuck and everything, and you can bring those out or whatever. But yeah, Nike, I'm pretty sure it'll cost you, I don't know, $80, $90 for this Nike fanny pack or whatever. But yeah. Fanny packs are back. Alright, so as most of you know, that I am not a big fan of the WNBA. I'm sorry, I just don't really see the allure of women's basketball until now. There is a commercial out for some underwear called Skims, I think it's called. It's created by Kim Kardashian, and in it there are several WNBA players that are in this commercial, well, yeah, they're hot. I mean, yeah, they're hot. Cameron Brink, Kelsey Plum, I can't remember the other, what's her name, Candace Parker, although she looks like she's kind of sad. But anyways, yeah, so it's like, well, okay, maybe I will watch WNBA because there's these hot chicks playing basketball. there was this guy. Remember the guy that got raked over the coals because he said that, oh well, the only way the WNBA is going to get followers is if the girls are wearing more skimpier outfits, and everybody just bashed him and everything and stuff. I was like, but here's the, but no, he was right. But anyways, I mean, I get the whole surge now of the WNBA because of the Caitlin Clark phenomena. And let's face it, that's why there is a big surge in the WNBA right now, is because of the Caitlin Clark phenomena, because she stayed in Iowa. She could have gone and played for UConn, or she could have gone and played for Stanford or Tennessee or whatever, one of those blue blood programs. But no, she stayed in Iowa and rose that team up to the ranks, and came within pretty much one game of winning the championship. Plus she shoots the lights out. Great. Media-driven controversy. I still don't think that the WNBA is going to sustain that whole thing. No dunks, no alley-oops. Whatever. But anyways, yeah. I mean, but yeah. You know, lingerie football. All right, so let's get into my shorts. So the NCAA removed cannabis products from its football postseason banned products list. Is it only football? Is it only football? Or is it like, I just heard it was just football. Why only football? And why only the postseason? So like you can get busted during the regular season, but the postseason it's okay to toke up or eat the gummies? Okay. So there's this thing called the under 20 football tournament or something, and it consists of the USA, Canada, Japan, who was that? Panama, Germany, I don't remember, some other teams. Anyways, so apparently this past week we got our asses. The USA team got its ass kicked by the Japan team by like 20 points. There was a whole thing on, well, who picks the USA team? I mean, who's it's under 20, and apparently there's been a long list of players who have gone on and had productive NFL careers playing in this team, but for some reason it's kind of it's like an invite thing, and you gotta pay if you want to be on it. You have to pay to be on the team. It's kind of weird that way. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we got our asses kicked by Japan, of all people. There was some speculation about how, well, maybe it was the Japan team consisted of, because we have the US's bases over in Japan, and maybe it was like, children of US members playing overseas. But apparently that's not the case. Apparently a lot of the players are actually Japanese. So that was kind of a bad showing from us, and people were all up in arms about it, that we got our asses kicked by Japan in this U20 tournament or whatever. That's all I gotta say about that, I guess, is it. And the games were played in Canada. Canada was hosting this. Apparently Canada has a really good... Once again, I don't know. I mean, is it that big of a deal? I mean, is it going to be like the dream team thing, the dream team basketball thing all over again? It was like, okay, enough of that. Because apparently the players on the US team are not the guys that are going to play at Georgia or Oklahoma or Alabama or Michigan or whatever. They're guys that are going to go play for, like, you know, the Willamette Bearcats or the D3 team of South Dakota Jack or whatever. You know, it's going to be for, like, you know, guys that aren't going to, because what coach recruiting a player wants his guy going and playing some stupid game and get hurt and then scholarships out the door, right? So yeah, you're not going to get the top players. I mean, you used to, but I think nowadays with all the NIL money and everything, yeah, that's not going to happen. You're not getting the top tier football, college, high school football players. You're getting D3. All right, finally, WWE is not a sport. I've been saying this for the longest time. I get it. It's hard to do. It hurts, but it's entertainment. It's not a sport. Even the head of the WWE himself said this. He actually said that even though it's fake or predetermined or whatever, that the whole business is about storylines and entertainment, which is what it is. That's fine. What I don't like is when people start looking at it as it's an actual real competition, real sport, that there is no preordained winner, that it is actually a thing. Now maybe, I mean, I've heard this in the past, that sometimes, depending on the match, you know, someone will give somebody a signal, say, well, yeah, you were supposed to win this, but the crowd is really behind this person, so we're going to have them win it. So maybe that's what it is, but it's not a sport. It's competition for the fans. That's what it is, it's competition, but it's not a real sport. So quit acting like it's, oh my God, can you believe he won that title? Can you believe? Stop it. Stop it. All right, that's tonight's show. And always, Jim Plunkett, Hall of Fame. Peace out.